Hi, all. Welcome to yet another Koot podcast series where we discuss global tech adoption trends, global AI adoption trends with global industry leaders. And today we have a very special guest with us, Ms. Sreedevi Hegde, who is the managing director at Vervent. Vervent is a new GCC in India, and it is into the fintech space, in the GCC space. And Government basically helps third parties in the loan servicing and credit card solutions. I think Ms. Sridevi would be throwing more light about on this government GCC. About Ms. Sridevi, a versatile global GCC leader, a day advocate, and she has more than 23 plus years of experience in the IT and BFSI. And I'm so thrilled to have her because when I was having the conversation with her initially, one statement which she mentioned really took my heart is, in single year, in a year, single handedly, she was able to scale Vervent to 200 plus headcounts. So I'm really looking forward to this conversation and learn a lot of strategies from her today. So let's welcome Ms. Sridevi. Hi, Ms. Sridevi. Thank you so much for joining us today, and really looking forward to learn a lot from you today, Ms. Sridevi.
Thank you, Nageshwari. And thank you for this amazing platform and having such a good, concepts which you're trying to get out, from leaders like us, because it's important to learn and share, right, within the industry. I'm really amazed to be part of this discussion and also share what I've been able to, have in these many 23 years of, of experience.
Great. And you also have, pretty 23 plus years of experience in BFSI and IT. So your brief career journey, Ms. Devi, before Vervent, which were the other organizations you were serving in?
Awesome. I think it's been a good learning and a journey, or I can say it's been very enriching. And I wanted it to be, having my journey to be not just, vertically, even horizontally, right? So that I can get the depth of each of the fields, each of the industry I work with, right? So to start with, I'm a finance and management MBA degree holder with international banking and business administration as my subject. Then I started my career with Dell. Along with that, completely into whichever wherever organization I went, I think I've done like enough kind of good disruptions and taken really long steps which than my comfort zone, and always have seen what I can learn more, what I can get more skills, what I can look at in my make it my profile so versatile, or really make it in depth, as I said, a lot of functions, right? And in a lot of organizations from Deloitte, where I really enjoyed my consulting stint. From there up until in 14 years of in after post Deloitte into BFSI industry, into SocGen, to Credit Suisse, to Citi, where I was as a CEO for Bangalore location and role of global analytics chief of staff. I think what I have done in throughout my career is really picking that management role very early in my career, and always thinking at maybe in the management shoes and leaders shoes, and also how that relate to the bottom line, strategy meeting the implementation, right? So that's the gap which I could really maneuver and get it done so fast. So that's what has been my strength. So that's what helps me in this role also, right? When running 15 plus functions in just 1 year and creating it is what I think been possible because of this rich experience which I have got. And I'm a person, really inquisitive. I have that inquisitiveness is very high, right, for me. And I
Okay.
always, ensure any field I get into, or any new department or any functions I want to learn about, I learn like a new joiner, out of college. I learn it by itself because it helps you really guide the leaders, guide the US peers, that okay, what it suits for the business, what really we can do, so that in really balances it out, and just not say okay, let's do this way or that way, but it really balances it out, the strategy along with right implementation, right team.
And it's hands-on and on ground. It is not a bookish or You are there, you've done it hands on, and you give genuine feedbacks to the leaders, I think. Yeah. Now you mentioned about 15 plus functions in Vervent. So I'm more curious to learn what is particularly Vervent India into this 200 plus team member that you mentioned. So if you can, how was this team structured, differentiated, and also the 15 plus functions, which are the major functions, Ms. Sridevi?
Sure. Last year when we started, right, really it was like any other traditional GCCs. Our leaders had thought, okay, we will start with IT, we will, look at, many other functions, how it will work. Usually, right, any other, GCCs or any other headquarters will think of that. But then I put across my idea and my strategy, and also, the how we can work. That okay, let's do all the functions. It's absolutely fine. I'll get you the right resources, right leaders, to run this. And it's all started happening, right? As and when they started seeing the very C team. So when in any organization, right, when a GCC is built, the C team is very, very important. Okay.
Mm.
If that is right, and if you're, getting the leaders who really share your vision, that will really make or go in a long way, because that base, right, for even building a house, right, how important the base is. The same way this, works. When it comes to 15 plus functions, right, we started definitely, with all the IT functions being here, either your engineering, development, your infrastructure. 24 by 7 support is done from here. Or your
Okay.
data science, I have model risk and or model builders sitting here. We have finance team, who does
Mm.
accounting for in-house as well as for, globally, and even for, structured settlements, or work with the, clients for, do that part of it. Then we have, complete back office, right? When I say complete back
Mm.
office, we do not have maybe voice, very, very niche voice team when it comes to fraud
Okay.
related, dispute calls, or say regional languages, which we have done, new
Mm.
capabilities which we have, created. Okay, so these are
Mm.
the ones which we have done, and completely non-voice major headcount of the globally is done here. Then I have PMO team who looks after major projects across the globe. Okay, then I have entirety of another HR team who supports. I have BI team, the whole
HR team is global. Sorry to.
no problem. HR is both global and local, because we started
Okay.
locally, and we do have some folks who we have hired who are supporting globally also. And
Okay.
finance is supporting globally, as I said already.
Wow.
Then I have compliance and risk team. I have bankruptcy team. I have ACDV team, even internal audit team, the recent new joiner, new baby, which we
Oh,
have just started. So you
okay.
name it, and I'll be adding on. Why these are different functions? Because they cater to, as I said, to our global team, as well as, some, clients. Obviously we have, client facing teams there, but see the amount of enablement we are doing from here already to global, right? And
Mm.
another addition what we have done is the project management.
Wonderful.
So these are the ones, and it happened, right? As I said,
Mm.
initially when we started, they were thinking, okay, 100, and we'll do that, and we'll see how it goes, right?
Mm.
But then they saw, okay, wow, it's really working out. And the whole of my idea was to get every team under one roof. That's real the capability building. That's real the capability market, or what India provides, right? And what synergies can build. And we'll talk about more, and how it is working
Absolutely.
wonderfully, because it is not siloed. We are really creating that synergy between the teams.
Absolutely. No, well, wonderful. And Ms. Sridevi, let's go back to the initial conversation that we had. And I was really mind blown when you said that, the leadership team were themselves, proposing for a bot model. However, you proposed a DIY model, right, while setting up the GCC here. So this is really unconventional, right? So why did you choose that path? And having chosen that, what were the initial challenges, Ms. Sridevi?
Awesome. And so no, that's one thing, right? Which it happened, but the fortune always goes with the person who dares, right, to take that next step, that one extra mile step, right? So that happened, I think, with me. Initially, when they started, as I mentioned, right, that they wanted to do a GCC here, a truly a capability center, and not even though the baseline was for the cost optimization, but I think it was the vision of our leaders, globally, and my risk-taking attitude or appetite, right, which made me to choose go this way. That is, do it yourself. The vision was, to immediately cater to the obviously the cost arbitrage or optimization,
Mm,
but also one hand that was one of the reason, but the another hand it was to really create that base which I talked about earlier, a
mm,
transformation journey for the whole of the organization. So I thought that, okay, we'll go with that. But if you see, you go in a traditional, bot model or any other model, it will at least minimum take to 2 to 3 years to become independent, sustain, right? And, get your hands on and, to start doing the things and contributing to global for the enterprise goals. But
mm,
this one really, I can tell you, right, we were productive in 90 days. So we did had advisors, we did had definitely the people who had, earlier done, but completely other than, legal and compliance and labor, advisory, uh, we had done everything in-house. Your HRMS tool implementation, your payroll tool, your finance ERP, your office
mm,
setup, the location strategy,
mm,
or getting the IFM team in place or vendor onboarding, everything, including one other important thing, getting SCC approval in just below 30 days. I can even say 20. Okay. And moving into new office. All this
mm,
was done, but parallelly, all the transitions, hiring, learnings were happening parallelly. We did not wait. Okay, let's first set up, let's understand, let's do training, and then wait production. So I'm really proud of my team, that seed team, right, who was with me in this journey, thick and thin.
mm,
I still remember, many times they might be feeling overwhelming, but I think it was the kind of support, enablement I gave them, and they gave me. Like it's always a two-way, right? It's hands
two-way.
on and shoulder to shoulder. What
Yeah.
we could do. Again, I'm quoting our organizations, right? Many visions we have or vision statements we have. It's one of it is bold leadership. Okay. And
Okay.
that's one thing I think I see in my team and even globally also. Very unconventional, but we look for, how we can really contribute, right, to what
Mm.
is there, uh, the
Sure.
immediate goal. And it will be a shared vision, either globally or locally for both. So that's what, it transformed. And we are here now already 250. Yeah, we just reached 250 and still, counting. But it's more about, I always say, right, it's not about numbers, it's about the quality. And usually GCCs are matured based on now on the maturity and what
Mm.
kind of varied functions we can serve from here, or really set it up here and contribute, right? Those are the things which comes into play when GCC. And that's the narrative which is changing, right? It was not when it comes to 30 years or 20 years or even 10 years before how it was being set up. And this is mainly happens when it comes to even a mid-market. We'll talk about more.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, wonderfully put, Miss Sridevi. So out of this 250, no, I can, one thing that I can really sense is you must have had a very strong team, right? Getting the approvals of SC Z in less than 20 days, no, it's no joke, right? So what was the initial, team building strategy that you used? How many freshers were there? How many lateral hiring was happening, Miss Sridevi?
Awesome. So we let me little rewind, okay? That thing happens, right? So little rewind. Okay? April 2024 was Vervent Incorporated, and it was the same day when I even joined the organization. So that's like it can't be more coincident, okay? So that's when, and we reached 200 by end of the year already last year, okay? The underlying strategy was very clear that we need to work smarter and faster, and the quality should never be compromised. So we ensure that we have right RPO partners and in-house team also both, right? If we
Okay.
have to do, it has to be balanced out. Okay.
Mm.
Key roles, leadership roles, we had a partner for all the people who were say 1 year, 2 years of experience, as you just said, right? So those we had a partner, but it was very clear that certain basics needs to be upfront, always done correct starting, like the clarity of the role, the job description, because when you see, our organization globally, not many leaders have experience to work with India. Neither even they know how, job descriptions are slightly different. If you see, right, when it comes to India, it's slightly different. It does not, say the same story or same language what is in US, correct, or any
True.
other organization. Even
Yeah.
to that extent, I was supposed to be, doing that educative sessions for them, and I've done that. And I
Mm,
think I'm still doing it because that what helps, right? Being as a consulting mind, or that kind of, culture bridging, what I've been doing, that has gone a long way. Then
mm,
also, the assessing the right fit, because it's not just about the SME of the candidate. It's not just about, okay, he has this many projects, he has in BFSI industry, but it's about the fitment. Will
mm,
they be able to sustain what Woven does? Will they be able to sustain to the speed? Will they have that perseverance? Can they really take that pressure, sorry, about, pressure with pleasure, right? I have to see that, because when you achieve something, it's like, oh wow, like I've achieved something, right? So
mm,
it's that part also, right? So those were very important, and my leaders have been always telling, guys, choose the right people whom you can take as a team and run along, right? Because it is very important when it, as I said, the the first 100 team members are very critical. Then we had very clarity of, how to, do these interviews. Okay, because it's a mid market, it's a new organization, right? We'll talk more about that also, because
yeah, yeah,
that's one of the, important thing, and I'll share right now. Uh,
absolutely.
and also, it's important that, the post COVID, that we need to
Mm,
have a balanced out, and depending on the roles, we have embraced both hybrid, in office, where it is important, right? We have ODC, and we have remote roles. Every all three structures we have embraced. But
okay.
important is how we do those interviews, because it's always two-way dialogue, because they need to relate to our vision, what
Mm,
that role they will contribute, going forward, if they join our organization, if they join my team, right? And how the onboarding is done. So we have very meticulously planned and tracked
mm,
each milestone, right? The 50 to 100 to 200, you can see on
yeah,
LinkedIn, they've really celebrated. Every time we got a lot of avenues to learn, but we ensured that opportunities are used to enhance. Became the quality become much better as and when. Let me
mm,
zoom in a bit when it comes to some of the, I would say challenges
mm.
may not be, because those are now learned now, right? So those are opportunities of learning.
Opportunities, okay.
Yeah, like talent attraction, as I just mentioned, right? A mid-market organization will not really have the luxury of the brand, right? And the presence needs to be really created, and we can't really invest also. But rather, what we invested was on our RPO partners, how they put across our brand, how they make understand the candidates who even want to, come or even to explore, and how my leaders show up, and how maybe in a social media, right, how we can really put across a very genuine post, right? We really kept most of it organic. Okay, because employee brand, right, from they are the major advocates, so that started very, in the beginning only for us. That was one of the ways, using the right channels, right?
Mm,
India leaders are ambassadors, so that was one of the way, use the network. I have used my network really. That's one of the way to, to establish this brand. Then I just mentioned about, choosing right talent, because they need to be hands-on when it comes,
mm,
because it's both learning, creating the efficiency, whichever the process you are transitioning, plus
mm,
as well, looking for more, right? And even looking at the whole of the journey. Now, we are looking at a whole of the journey, where we can look at the end-to-end customer journeys. So that's a
mm,
maturity what I'm talking about, right? So now going back to initial one, right? And leadership roles, as I said, it has to be really hands-on. Okay, and uh, because I always believe, leaders are culture carriers. And coming again back to another culture point, right? Setting up right in the beginning is always important. Recently, I posted one, post on LinkedIn, and it says that culture is not what you build when you're done building; it's what you build with since day one. Okay, and
okay.
you always have that right culture here, and very importantly, globally also, it is always right. Fail fast, learn fast, and succeed fast for us. So it's about ensuring that employees feel that, and they become clearly the cultural aligned to our organization, and strong advocates, right, of our organization. That goes a long way. So these are, I think, certain few important things I touched upon, which really helped us, to scale up, as well as the sponsorship from globally. And my TA team and HR team, or even the leaders, US leaders, they've done a real good job, in getting or choosing, folks who
Sure.
can
I
build.
want to go a little deeper into this, Ms. Sreedevi, because scaling into a mid-market and that to a competitive environment is not a easy, thing. So, what were the initial strategies? I understand you get got sponsors, but still in this competitive space, again with the branding, the mid-market. So, how did you overcome that, Ms. Sreedevi?
I just narrated, a few of the important points. I think to go into detail, I'll give you a story. On the first day, okay, the RPO partners were there, even the CEO of the RPO partners, and I haven't spoken to them, maybe so I couldn't take their name, but maybe they would have been happy if I taken their name. So, they were there, and then our obviously, right, they'll have a project manager for our organization, and the CEO.
Sorry, Ms. Sreedevi. RPA means, if you can,
RPO partners. RPO
RPO.
partners means obviously you're hiring partners, right? And
Hiring
why I
partner.
call it as RPO, because they were doing for us, helping out the end to end.
Right.
That's a common terminology used. So
Sure.
what they did, what I asked them is, okay, guys, and it was on the first day, okay, when I met them, and it was my first day in the organization. I asked them, what is it, or think that I'm your prospective employee, right? Or I'm your candidate whom you're, proposing a role in government.
Hmm.
How I want to sell that role to me? Give me an elevator pitch, give me a sales pitch in 2 minutes. Okay.
Okay.
I wouldn't say what they do or what they did not do, but I think that went a long way because they understood that, how am I relating our global vision, what we are here for to do, right? And how we need to scale up, or how much work they have to do, right, to
Hmm.
get to there, and what is our brand. This all was covered in that, and we created an awesome sales pitch for them, and we did, even including all our team members, because I've seen this happening, right? Sometimes, between various layers of interviews, what happens, people will one manager will need a junior, maybe person, right? A team lead will need more something, and a senior will need more, but they all will interview and they'll have different expectations. So it is very important that all of them are
All the
aligned,
interviews are
yeah, and
aligned
what is
to.
expected, and that helps. And if that
Hmm.
alignment comes and is told to your hiring managers, right, your in-house team, right, talent acquisition team, or even the outside, that really aligns, because that's very important. And I
Hmm.
have another example to quote.
Hmm.
I meet each new joiner on day one, irrespective of what.
Oh, okay.
I hope I continue to do, as and when it becomes big, I think it might be a little challenge, but I
Little
have to
challenging.
equip
Yeah.
my leaders to do that, because it's
Okay.
important to relate, right? And how they, and as I've been telling them, right, that ensure that what you learn, you when you use it here, means, but during the transition, it's important you use your skills also from previous experiences. It's
Sure.
very important. It's just not, you've come to a new one, it's absolutely fine. You will learn, unlearn, everything you will do. But
Hmm.
using your experience is what for the reason we have got onboarded. So it's really
Hmm.
important that, please use, be innovative. See, innovation doesn't come on just doing, maybe as you said, a AI project, or now, we keep using that word, or doing
Yeah.
RPA project. Innovation comes even in the smallest thought process. Okay, how can I make it, this call or this engagement to the end customers much better when we do
Hmm.
servicing? A simple thought process might come to even a person, right, who has joined and say, oh, okay, I was doing something differently, and why don't you? So we encourage those things to be shared. So these are
Wonderful.
small detail things. It will help to create that kind of atmosphere, and they won't have fear, and they would love to. And starting on the year one, or this thing, we had our sports day already, your CSR events, that all is like amazingly going on, or your many things easily.
Awesome. Also, Ms. Devi, shifting the gears, you're from BFSI and would like to understand your perspectives about the key, trending aspects, technology aspects in the BFSI space, digital lending or customer experience automation and compliances. So, out of this, which are the emerging trends in BFSI, which is very exciting for you?
I think main trends. I will just narrate it in three different areas which you
Mm.
already you just mentioned. Is about I think benefiting is definitely it is going towards is hyper personalization. Okay,
Mm.
how we get services and digital assistance and enhanced risk management. So these are the major fields. Let me ask you a question. Tell me how many times you would have logged in now recently through laptop to do any transaction on your bank account, or you go to mobile.
I stopped using laptops. I use my phone.
Exactly. That's exactly I'm saying, right? So how we are, you know, so used to it, right? That mobile first experience, right now,
Mm.
anything and everything, right? And we will ask the team. I went recently, I think last Saturday or other Saturday, that I asked, oh, I have, this date, maybe for an FD, I don't remember for what transaction, and I don't want it to be an auto. When I said, ma'am, I said, I'm not able to do on the mobile. I said, ma'am, all the features are there except this feature is not on the mobile. I said,
Oh.
don't you think this should also be there? And she said, yeah, ma'am, we are working on it. So we are so used to it, right? That mobile
Mm.
first thing. So that amazes me, right? Mobile and real time payments. Are you
Okay.
seeing anything which will take half an hour, 1 hour to even to reach a payment? It's just real time, instant. So these what
Mm.
amazes me, the trends, right? And why it is happening? Definitely because of the technology, what we are seeing and what the inventions we are seeing or the AI agentic things, what we are looking at it. And when it comes to self-service options, right? The RPAs, the bots, right? Amazingly
Mm.
repetitive task or even I think you would have seen in any insurance or even in services at
Mm.
banks the simple informations which even including some kind of human behaviors are answered by now,
Mm.
right? The assistants, the digital assistants, what we call it as. A
Absolutely.
lot of platforms are now allow customers themselves to handle, right? They don't really need to, including I think the most important one is the KYC update, which is very critical.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a story, earlier.
Okay.
I think it was even before becoming a mobile. They used to ask you on email, right, and just send a
Yeah.
mail, right? And if you miss, then
Yes.
obviously you will see a
Obviously.
lot of impact. But now you can do on mobile, so
Mobile.
that's
Mobile.
easier, right? So that because I had a very, I
Mm.
think, say a bad instance, but it was a lesson learned, right? Always, everything is a lesson learned. And I
Everything is
think
available.
when it comes to security, right, the blockchain technologies, what we are applying across, right, for especially for cross-border payments,
Mm.
identity verification, transaction transparency, right, each one of them, is really helping, and including that biometric authentications, right. These
Mm.
are really regulatory and what they call it as newly read the red tech solutions. These
Mm.
are really going a long way when it comes to enhancing the compliance levels, right, for
Mm.
critical processes and really inadvertently, really, I would say, controlling the cyber risks, right? All
I
these are really reshaping, credit access through new business models, security upgrades, and really enhancing user experience worldwide. We'll see more. But yes, it has to be
yeah.
really in a controlled environment, and we need to have right checks and balances.
Wonderfully said, Miss Sreedevi, and that brings me to this thought that how is your, this is out of my experience because when I speak to my other colleagues who are staying in the US, the adoptability, the adoption to the digital payments is it's a leapfrog that India has taken, right? So, and even as simple as the FD that you mentioned, I've been using it since last 4 years in my phone, but it's popping up. I mean, it is coming up as a new feature for in the US. I mean, so what is your perspective? Is India really leapfrogging in the fintech space? And also one more aspect, please excuse me if in 2008, if you remember, the Lehman, the collapse, that the recession that happened in the US, but Indian banks were still, Indian, banking system were still scrut, right? So was it that they out of this they were really looking forward to the Indian technology, Mr. Devi?
I think maybe a lot of trends are there we can read upon, but I would
Okay.
definitely say it's in the next era. Okay, Indian fintechs are in the next era. I'll tell you. completely. They are, it's hands down, right? What, where we are.
Hmm.
Because whenever our leaders visit, right, when I, show off the UPI, the whole the thing itself, right, it's a kind of thing, right? They do not have, as you rightly said, they still, they are, even though they're credit heavy, right? The whole economy runs, if you see in the, Western, countries is on completely on credit, right? But
Hmm.
still look at how far we are, even though not majorly our economy runs on credit. Yes, now we are, but if you see comparably, right, as a culturally, we don't really run completely on credit. Even a smallest household will have a resource,
Yeah,
will
yeah.
have this thing,
We
right?
are grounded like that since childhood.
Exactly.
We are brought up like that. Maybe
And
thanks
we
to
have
our.
that savings, that culture of savings is good.
Uh,
It's always imbibed. So I wouldn't even go into measuring, those things in a very cut short answer. I think it's definitely a hands down, and many things, that gives a leverage when it comes to us, kind of GCC organization. We can just showcase them. Okay, this is the model already. It is working here. That's the kind of tool already we have, right? That's
mm.
what I take leverage of, Indian ecosystems and amazing things what is, happening here. And I'm sure they will catch up, and for sure because of our kind of, GCCs only, globally also.
No, absolutely. And I think you preempted my question. I was about to ask, how Vervent is, as a GCC in India, adopting to the tech, let it be data science or AI. How are you leveraging the tech, Mr. Devi?
In any organization, either PFSI or, as you said, financial services supporting organizations, anything, right? Automation, either through new any emerging technologies, right? Your AI, blockchain, or RP, or anything, is
Mm.
really central to the transformation. Okay,
Mm.
today I think no, nearly around 70%, okay, plus of ALMI, ML, okay, machine learning, generative AI, algorithm development are really happening in BFSI GCCs, and is focused mainly on, advanced banking applications, because that's what touches
Mm.
the customer, right?
Yeah.
The AI centric redesign doesn't stop at just at a process level. It extends
Mm.
even to, digital platform, banking platform, where, it sets a banking at a service. We just spoke about at a service, right? It's always there, and support effortlessly, work between sectored, non-sectored, or different banks, and cross borders organizations, or different banks, or even I think products launchers, or even backed by many other, I would say, even government organizations, right? All this
Mm.
goes along when it comes to AI. Now, coming to, AI as an adoption or
Yeah.
something, I always see, and even our CFSO believes, that AI isn't just a cost cutter. It's a growth engine. It propels your what you want to do and how you want to, really impact the customer journey and services, being in services
Mm.
industry. In our organization, we are already looking and thinking big when it comes to, uh, in any era, right? What is expected? You always want personal services, right? You always
Yeah.
want customized services for any client or any customer, okay?
Yeah.
And all these LLMs, right, through powered agents, and can digest lot of data, lot of history of a customer, right, who
Mm.
comes and asks for, okay, credit enhancement, or say I need extra credit, right? How it happens? If if versus human versus
Mm.
this LLM powered agents, right? How fast they can read through and understand the history, right? And even resolve and give the options in the call only,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
And little, one step ahead, and that can happen 24 by 7,
Mm.
because we have, in a different time zone, we are India sitting here to help to do that, right? And covers, so
Sure.
that one happens. And cross demand, right? Across demand, and different solutions can be, sold uh, through those, these agents which I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
And one other example, right? When it comes to credit and fraud analytics,
Mm.
how easy, when it comes to,
Yeah.
when we build the models, right? Through these, AI powered
Mm. Bots.
models and bots and all, right? It really spot on. It provides you very easily, right?
Mm.
This could be, and this is the because of the behavior of even the payments, and this is planning, or this will go delinquent. Many
Mm.
things. So it's amazing. So it's always, but the see end of it, the human need to come into picture, right?
Yeah.
To do that final decision. But look at the fast track the organization, so the employees or the person who is sitting in front of it and doing it can do get that enablement to do so faster, right?
Hmm.
And documentation, how
Yeah.
fast we can do, right? Nowadays, like it doesn't even take much time, as I just now said, right?
Yeah.
You can do even on mobile the KYCs, right? Just submit it. Even the
Yeah.
claims, for that matter, your insurance claims or on all those.
Hmm.
It's so fast that it's just on the app, and
Hmm.
you just support it. And even I think the Google, what is it called, GPS, try
Yeah.
locations also they do it on that. So it's so much, right? And it is about really adopting the right technology and ensuring the organization is also ready, and each layer everybody is ready to do that, right? And when you align it to customer journey,
Hmm.
right, along with your organization whom I just mentioned, right, who need to be there, then it's really an amazing thing to it is always an upshot, call like
Hmm.
faster launches, lower expenses when it comes to real delivery, or end of it, it is happier customer
Efficiency.
and clients. That's
Hmm.
what ends up. So I'm really a huge one. But again, who adopts it first and how we do it in a safe environment is what is the bet. And we need to balance it out.
Sure, sure, Miss Sreedevi. And so, like, who tell? I mean, who has the say in adopting to the technology? Like, if you need any tool or tech product, can you go to your HQ and let them know, and they sponsor for it? How easy that
No,
process is?
because it's a highly regulated organization, right? And it's a highly regulated environment, and we serve bigger banks. So obviously, we need to be really more careful,
Mm.
than because it's not just on our product. Even though we are both B2B and B2C, it's just not only our product, right? So it's very important that we choose the right platform, and it is futuristic. Yes, we go and give that, because as I said, right, India has enough platforms, enough tools which is already well tested in the markets here. But what is suitable to go globally for all our customers and clients also we need to keep in mind. Definitely we go and give those inputs, and our CTO is always pro, and even our CFO, they are all AI first people. So I'm pretty
Okay.
happy that they are already thinking, and we have already started investing through that way, that what we need to think of. Because if you do not look that way, or if you do not plan in advance, you will miss the competition. You can't sustain in the competition being in service industry. So it's
Mm.
both way, right? We go and propose, but again, making it successful lies with both the teams, right? Global IT team, we
Mm.
always call it as global IT team, global ops team. It's not, it's just India is in just another center, but
Yeah.
it has all come together, so we can see that okay, how it can see the handoffs easily, how it can work beautifully.
Sure, sure, sure. And no, you are a women leader yourself, and I really wanted to ask this with you that, in this men dominated sector, how did you navigate this path? And what are the learnings that, from your previous journey that you are implementing at Vervent, and let it be work culture or code of conduct, Ms. Devi?
Traditionally, you are right. It was, the other gender dominated, but I think the world's most global bank CEO is who? Jane Fraser, right? So in that way, already the glass ceiling is, broken. And I think
Broken.
in India also you have lots of names,
Lot of,
right,
yeah.
which I can take. Now it's definitely has changed, and I'm seeing in our own organization, right? Oh, I think most of all the leaders from CHR or to business operations head to transformation head, everybody is women. We're already looking at that, so I have that strong ecosystem to
Yeah.
back up, and we always look at equal opportunity, and for us the skill and the capability is always key. But yes,
Mm.
coming to how it can make a difference, let me dwell into a little bit more detail. I think when it comes to women leadership in BFSI industry, it really brings fresh perspectives to drive
Mm.
either innovation or faster. We need to make it faster or foster to inclusive financial services and improve overall organization performance. It's really key because we get the diversified thought process. right?
Mm.
Who is the, tell me at home, who is does the budgeting? Women does the budgeting, right? So definitely, our skills, right? Life skills does come into play also. And how we think and how we always think inclusive, how we think really, proactive, going
Mm.
forward. And I never believed, during my, career, even though I think I'm always pro. I'll narrate you what I'm doing also, now
Sure.
on regular basis, to create this ecosystem strong, right?
Sure.
Is that it's important that we, nurture the new age leaders. It could be
Mm.
both men and women, right? Or even from the, other areas who we can help with, right? Who come with maybe a different economic background, right? It helps because
Mm.
that's what gets new thing. That's what gets the freshness, to the ideas what you do. I think for me, being in this industry for 14 years has, helped a lot. It has gone taken me a long way because I've seen,
Mm.
worked with US banks, worked with EMEA, banks, and many of them, right? And I've seen the consulting world also. So that what gives me a real holistic, look,
Mm.
and that ensuring the culture alignment, right, with our folks to US folks to, even the when we work with external partners, it's very important. That is the key. Okay. Now dwelling into, the new age leaders part of it, right? It's very
Yeah.
important, and I give these, tips even when I, do these sessions on Saturdays. I have
Okay.
this, a huge, mentor, mentee group. Okay, what I do
Sorry.
on mentor mentee group. Okay,
Okay.
on Saturdays
Okay.
I, dedicate 1 hour to
Wow.
anybody who want to just share their ideas or come and talk to me about their maybe the, life, dynamics or different options they have, right? And they are,
Okay.
in between two different options or three different options. See what can I do? And
So is
somebody
it?
would want to. So how I do this is anybody approaches me on LinkedIn, I tell them, okay, on this and particular date, you can call me, and I just listen to
Oh,
them, and I guide them because it's a two-way learning. I tell you, they would love to, listen,
express and
express, and somebody to, listen. I do that, and for me also, it's a learning. Like for new age kids, like what are they doing? What is the new things? And it always helps to, get that first-hand, experience because you have lots of Gen Zs, working
mm.
here. So that's one of the thing I do, and I
Okay.
and love to, engage with people. Many of them do. Last week also, I had a, lady calling me, wonderful young lady, and she wanted to, pursue Kathak, and she
Oh.
said no, but I still want to do. I want to, go and look for a next level role. I said, see, anything you do, okay, be with your decision. Once you take a decision, live with it, right? It could be anybody. So this is first tip I give to everybody: live with it, right? You can do, and you can take A decision or B decision, but live with it and make it happen,
Mm.
and it will work for you, right? If you want to pursue, and if you not want to leave it, keep it in the back burner. Nothing
Mm.
will stop you.
I was about to ask, is it only for fervent team members?
No.
Sure.
I have a much bigger network because I work with, five different organizations, right? In this 25 years or 24 years of,
Mm.
closer to. So in that way, it is very, huge network. So
Wonderful.
and in the organization, right? I tell them, right, guys, if you have one quality, you will shine here. One is that perseverance. You really need to have, and that needs to be there in all new age leaders and new age kids. That needs to be there, right? I know they're too fast, they have access to information. I keep telling to my son also, right? Yes, you're too smart, and I might not know how to use maybe a mobile new one, right? I think iPhone 17 is coming, but they would know, right? Already know how to, know new or enhanced features. But it's about perseverance, how much you can, really stand for it and make it success, and just not leave it, okay, once tried, two tried, and leave it. We have
Mm.
seen the trends, right, in the new age kids, happening, right? And because they have lots of avenues. That's what
Yeah.
I say always. Then walk the talk for leaders, right? You really have to walk the talk. It's
Mm.
not just, okay, I just say it and I don't do it, right? Because then it's not credible. So you really need to walk the talk. And I do that in my organization, right? I meet each one of them on a monthly basis, right?
Okay.
Any in different formats, right?
Mm.
Either all hands or a town hall or a small pods meeting or on a coffee meeting or a tea meeting. But I ensure I touch upon them. Hopefully, I'll do. I know as and when it grows, I'll ensure my leaders do that because it
Yeah,
has to flow down. It has to be an inclusive culture.
absolutely.
Then, really, I think I just again, maybe repeating the culture carriers are our leaders. So I always ensure, they understand and they share the vision. And
Mm.
so that needs to be cascaded down. So all the women's or even the, new age leaders, what I say is, be perseverant, live with your decisions and create that I think sisterhood or brotherhood atmosphere, right, where you support each other. So our GCC leaders, we have real good ecosystem, huh? We really
Mm.
support each other, and I'm pretty happy on being in this era. Hopefully
Wonderful.
we'll definitely position India GCC in much ahead, right,
And
and
thanks to you
stronger.
leaders that the completely the way the people the globally the GCCs are looked upon is shaping up well and transforming thanks to leaders like you, Ms. Sreedevi. And moving on to my second last question. So, how does future, because you keep saying that, the organization may grow bigger and I hope I can touch upon. So, what is the future at Bowent? Next year, what is the expansion that you're looking at, Ms. Sridevi?
As I said, mid market, really the numbers doesn't matter. It's
Okay.
more about what are the new clients and how we will learn the customer journey from here, right? And how we are going to create the COEs. Okay, we are already looking at, now we have already created one COE and how we will create the products because I have already onboarded the product managers. So that's what we are looking at. And definitely, Vervent, as it's a tech first approach, we will definitely work with startups which will help, right? And again, as I said, it's a suitability, as I explained, right? India versus other
Yeah.
global organizations or global continents, markets. But what can work for such a huge population can definitely work also there, right? In
Yeah.
different global locations also it can work, and global customers also. So those are few things which I'm looking definitely. And it always align need to be globally, all the strategies. Strategies is what it's a revenue, definitely the customer experience what we can create, maybe a wonderful product which we can create from here. That's what I'm looking for. But it all needs to be even, I think, relate to as well as through the ESG principles also. It's very important when it comes to globally and environment, right? So all
Yeah.
these things, it's very important to be aligned also. So it's more about a very well thought, uh, strategies which we need to look for to support. And my team is completely ready here to take it ahead, either through partnerships to startups or to other organizations here, or reskilling, upskilling. Many things will happen. To cut short, I think we are looking much more horizon. It's about the organization where we are already standing, that because we have come through the maturity curve very fast,
Hmm.
right? And how well can propel the transformation
Hmm.
journey for global is what I'm looking at.
Sure, sure. Wonderfully put, Devi. Now, my last question, which I asked to most of our guests, your one piece of advice to the other leaders out there who look upon to you, Devi.
I think I learn with them a lot during all this event.
You
It's
obviously have given a lot of insights, and very beautifully this conversation has come up. But your one strong piece of advice, Devi.
I think the culture alignment is very important when it comes to the leaders like us, right? Because it creates, you need to be the, advocates of both the worlds. Then when it works very beautifully, I have seen that, right? I am advocates of all my US leaders as well as I'm advocates of my leaders here. So it gives that balance. And what happens is it creates that sponsorship, right? And that has worked very beautifully and it goes long way. And when you share the vision with all your leaders, and also you explain that how my leadership or even all the team members can share with it, that really works. So it's about uh, culture alignment. It always is two ways, and it happens when you drive it with your
Hmm.
own hand, and balancing in the both of them. So that's what I think. Simple tip.
Sure. And thank you so much for that wonderful conversation. I thoroughly enjoyed the entire podcast. Thank you so much. I look forward to be in touch with you in your network, and I will also check upon your Saturday mentor mentee session that you mentioned, Ms. Sreedevi.
It's open to everybody. Anybody can just message me, right? And I do just one to one. I don't want to create any platform or make it really what is it, a product kind, but because it's always one to one. What I
Yeah.
look for, which benefit people, and it benefits me as a learner also. So definitely, I would be happy to continue the discussion.
Sure, sure. Thank you, Ms. Sreedevi.